Good morning. I'm former Secretary Edwin Lacierda from Pinoy's Administration.
Masanto siya kapusan at sige namin na imbag nga bigat tayo amin apo. Sorry po. Magandang Tuesday morning, Pilipinas. I'm former Secretary Hernani Agsalud Braganza, President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo's administration.
And
we are the Spokes.
From the Panasols, then to our group chats now.
We'll give you perspectives from an insider's position standing behind the podium.
On today's Noted by the Spokes, Senate Impeachment Court subpoenas versus VP Sara Duterte's financial records. Sorry, akala ko versus.
Akala ko ako lang ang buyoy ngayong umaga. Dalawa pala kami.
Hindi, pero mukhang, well, bubuksan na ang mga, ng mga financial documents, bank records. Yan yung magiging envelope ba to? Second envelope. Diba? Parang exciting.
Probably.
But this is not the, this is going to be their last yata. Hindi naman to kaagad magpipresenta eh.
Oo, kasi 2 weeks ago ata, o 2 impeachment hearings ago, the prosecution also already asked for this.
Yes.
So binigyan sila ni the presiding officer, Senator Chis Escudero, time to argue. Di ba? And for the first time, naging matalino ako sa debate ng prosecution at defense yesterday. It was very educational. Kaya sabi ko nga, ito, nakita naman natin si Atty. Powa kaninang umaga. Sabi ko, to me, legally you won. Politically you lost. But morally, we should call for transformation than each and every public servant na papasok sa serbisyo, impeachable or not, should be transparent in their business dealings before they enter public service. Especially in the midst of this flood control problem.
Alam mo, Nani, I was thinking, this is already the second time that the financial records are being brought up.
Yes, during Corona's time.
You know, maybe the Senate and the Congress should come up with the laws making impeachment as an exception para wala nang debate. Kasi ang ginagawa nila, yung bank secrecy law kasi, may exception. Except in cases of impeachment. Kaya yung bank secrecy, pwede talagang ilabas. Yung mga iba, AMLA records, yung mga sali, dapat gumawa na lang kayo ng batas sa pag may impeachment, wala nang issue ng ano.
I agree with you, but you know, there are 120 million Filipinos and less than 5,000 are elected or appointed officials. So that's a very small percentage.
Correct.
So the law should be special as far as public servants are concerned in terms of transparency, business dealings, economic activities. Kasi minsan, biglang tumataas yung income nila based on their salary during their time and term. So, dapat maging transparent lang, in other words, para, and we owe this to the Filipino people.
The reason why I'm asking for may batas except in cases of impeachment, kasi these are the high public officials, Vice President, President, members, Ombudsman, members of the impeachable officers. Mataas talaga ang tungkulin nila. So, ilabas na lang natin para wala na ganitong debate, ang haba-haba.
I agree with you. Diba? Sabi nga, ano ba tingin doon sa Freedom of Information?
Alam mo, FOI, meron pa na, wala. Ano ang problema sa FOI? I'll tell you this. Ang problem ng FOI is it's adverse against the interests of the congressmen and the
politicians
senators.
in general.
Of politicians.
In general,
That was a
public
problem we had during our time.
Yes.
Na talaga kaya FOIs are always done by executive order. Kaya in so far as executive branch, we are open. But if you make it the law, maraming mga parameters na dapat ayusin. Kaya they're very, very wary of putting out.
If you're saying this will be legislated, it should include everyone.
Yes.
Wala dapat exemption. So sabi ko nga kanina.
There has to be some exceptions. Pero let's put out the FOI na.
Yes. Okay. But I hope it passes. Okay, Congress.
Anyway, Nani, it's your turn.
Thank you, Kuya Edwin. Also noted by the Spokes. A Philippine Navy sailor, masakit ang leg ko. A Philippine Navy sailor sustained head injury after being struck with a wooden baton by a China Coast Guard.
Salbahe talaga ito mga ano.
Yeah. Again, look. The narrative is getting bigger and bigger. It's getting more violent at this point. Una, they claim they say the 9 dash line justifies the...
By the way, it's no longer 9.
It's 10.
10 na, ginawa na lang
10 na.
10. Oo.
Ang sabi ko nga ho dito dati, ginawa ng kindergarten yung mapa na yon, student. Pangalawa, sabi ko, they now included Batanes
Yes.
as part of the territory. Ang sabi ko, simple lang ho. Fake news yan, West Philippine Sea, atin yan.
Sasabihin ko lang sa Chinese, dito ay tayo kaya, paisiyo din. Sabi ko, salbahe kayo. Wag naman natin murahin. Anyway, pero talagang sobrang aggressive ng ginawa ng China Coast Guard. Parang walang respeto. I mean,
You know, China is not known to be aggressive way, way back. But now they are an economic power, they are a political power. They're now exercising, wala nang restraint. They fish not only in Asia, but also in Latin America. They claim mga small islands bounded by them and Japan, Vietnam, the Philippines. So, in other words, muscle flexing ang China ngayon.
sa ginaslight pa tayo. Sinabi tayo doon nag-umpisa. Ibang klase talaga ito mga Chinese.
Well, again, don't get this wrongly, no? Ang sama ng loob ng China, when they lost the arbitral ruling, parang nasampal sila ron eh. But again, mali naman posisyon ng Pilipinas kasi based on the Constitution. We will resolve conflicts not through war, di ba, but through diplomacy, di ba?
Correct.
So part of doing that is going to the UNCLOS, which we won, basically. And I think another case should be filed against them.
May claim si Justice Hardelesa.
Yes.
Sabi niya, nanalo na tayo doon. Let's sue them for damages. Yan ang isang theory ni Justice Hardelesa.
Okay. So,
Kasuhan na,
so
I
that's
think
the
he
one.
guessed it here, but sinabi niya, let's sue them for damages. Pero walang, it's a novel theory. I don't know if merong gagawa niyan.
You know, probably that's the main reason. So now they're muscle flexing. But kung sa Pilipinas lang sana ginagawa, parang maintindihan mo na pikon eh. But they also do it in other countries. So this is beyond that UNCLOS already. But at the same time, that decision of UNCLOS also favors yung mga bansa na may coastline.
Alam mo bakit sila galit na galit?
Sige nga.
Natalo sila sa sahig eh. Sahig. Kaya galit na galit sila. But anyway, the Department of National Defense
Welcome, Manong Edwin.
strongly condemns the latest act as violence and harassment committed by China. Sobra na talaga.
Sobra. This is beyond diplomacy already. And you know, the country, hindi dahil sa mahina tayo, but again, we are a peaceful, loving people. So again, our foreign diplomacy must, first and foremost, protect our interest as a country.
May sasabihin lang ako, these Chinese people are we're asymmetrical. Our relationship is asymmetrical. We're not a superpower. You're a superpower. And the more that you do that, you're really viewed as bullies. You got a lot of soft power. Mga films, imbis na yung pinopromote nyo, nangaaway kayo, you're showing to the Filipinos your hard power. You're not going to endear yourselves to the Filipinos. So that's I think, a very bullish tactic. And you know.
Ito kwento lang. Nagbakasyon yung pamilya namin sa Palawan. So, may mga international tourists. This guy, apparently from China, all of a sudden, said, saan yung mga isla namin dito? Katakot-takot na PIPI, Philippine Islands, ang inabot niya sa amin.
Okay.
So, yun lang, their arrogance is beyond their army.
Okay.
Di ba? Yun lang naman. So, sana hindi ganon. Hindi ganon.
Sige, these are the headlines noted by the spokes. Up next is one of the most vocal legal commentators on key political issues when the spokes return after this short break. And the spokes is back with the convener of Bantay Senado, a civic group that closely monitors the impeachment proceedings.
Welcome, Atty. Dino. He's a partner of the Dargon Law Office. So,
Welcome.
Welcome. Pamangkin ka pala ni Manong Chavit. Ano?
Pamangkin naman.
Okay.
So, pamangkin ka.
Yes.
Kaya pala ang tapang mo. Sandali, last night I was watching you, binabanatan mo si Robin Padilla. Why were you bashing him so much?
Well, yan disappointment kasi, diba? Number one, na-elect ng taong bayan. Pero imbis na i-confront ang China, usually ang kino-confront niya, si Tariela pa, the one that is speaking up against the aggressive actions of China. And, Edwin, inaral ko kasi ito, I finished my Master's of Law in National Security Law. No? One of the things na strategy ng China in the West Philippine Sea, ang sabi, doktrina ito sa China, they will win the West Philippine Sea without firing a single shot. So hindi totoo yung mga sinasabi na, baka magkagera tayo. Kasi doktrina sa China yan, na hindi tayo magkakagera dyan. And that's the reason why, tinan mo, ang ginagamit nila, kahoy, di ba? Yung daliri ng ating Navy na putol, no? What is their main strategy? Their main strategy is actually elite co-optation, wherein yung mga sarili nating mga senators, mga elite natin, mga families, the Duterte family specifically, iko-co-op yan, magre-rhetoric na hindi tayo mananalo sa China, ayaw natin ng gera, and pag narinig mo yung mga ganyang rhetoric na gusto niya ata ng gera ganon, yan exactly yung strategy ng China to win the West Philippine Sea.
Do you see that now in this country?
Very
Of
much.
the elite,
very much, no? Kaya nga meron tayo tinatawag na mga senators, di ba, sa Senado. If you're going to take a look at it, halos mga elite, mga Pilipino, either nananahimik or actually propagating the rhetoric of China in the West Philippine Sea. In fact, kay Marcoleta specifically, kung tinignan mo yung line of questioning niya when sinabi niya there's no such thing as a West Philippine Sea, di ba? Nung nagdedebate sila ni Kiko Pangilinan doon sa Senado, that is exactly almost similar to the statements released by the Chinese Foreign Ministry in its own website.
Let me ask you a direct question. Do you think bayad itong mga taon to or may economic interest or the political interest is being supported by China in the Philippines? Lalo na ngayon, malapit na eleksyon.
I think definitely supported sila by China. No? Our group, since 2016, has already monitored that may mga campaign contributions ang China in the Philippines, no? So meron talaga yan na influx. Naalala ko nga ng panahon ni pasensya na kayo ni Rodrigo Duterte. Kasi ako hindi liberal party ang sinusupport ko noon, although I supported Pinoy in 2010. I had a different candidate in 2016. And number one kami sa survey no? Noong mga time na yun Tung tinignan ko, halos pinapablock na ng nila Mar Rojas campaign, nila Grace Poe campaign at iba-ibang mga kandidato, even the Binay campaign, no? Yung lahat ng mga suppliers ng t-shirt, supplier ng baller IDs. Tapos kung matatandaan nyo, si Rodrigo Duterte, di ba?
Sorry, bigla ko na-confuse. Sinong kandidato to?
Si Grace po ako.
Grace Poe.
So, lahat yan, hindi pa kasi kandidato si Rodrigo Duterte, natandaan nyo, nag-substitute siya. Pero pagdating ng December, January, lahat ng mga pinakamagagandang shirts, pinakamagagandang baller IDs, galing na dito kay si Rodrigo Duterte ng pinakamarami. Hindi na yung local suppliers, it all came from China.
Sandali. I haven't had breakfast yet. It turns out pala. Ikaw pala, co-founder ka ng Atty. Baksilog?
Yes.
How did you become paano nangyari yun?
Well, nung ako'y nag-convene ng World Debate Championships in 2012, no? Isa sa yan ang pinakamalaki academic gathering of students in the world, no? I was a law student then. In fact, it generated around 500 million pesos to the Philippine economy. No? The LaSalle Debate Society was awarded by President Pinoy as one of the 10 accomplished youth organizations in the Philippines. Paborito ko kasi yung Atty. Noon. So, doon ako kumuha ng pang-breakfast ng mga volunteers. And then we became friends, no? Sa sidewalk vendor pa lang sila nung panahon na yon. And then we started the franchising company in 2017.
Question lang, when we opened the show, nakalagay din kasi you're a convenor of Bantay Senado. Mag-isa ka? May kasama ka? Sino sila kung may kasama ka?
Marami kami. Ito yung Team Pinas, no? Kasama ko sila Cleve Arguelles, sila Carlo Flores, no? And then yung mga ibang members pa ng Team Pinas. Pero ang maganda
Walang
kasi
politiko?
dito... Wala.
So,
ang pinakamaganda kasi dito, youth-driven, no? Kasi doon sa Team Pinas, meron kaming nilaunch na Gen Zennial Tour, no? Gen Z and Millennial Tour. We go all around the Philippines to talk about citizenship, to talk about responsible governance, to talk about accountability. Nakailan na kaming mga kakagaling namin sa Isabela last week, no?
But this one is very specific, a Bantay Senado. Were you anticipating the impeachment or you created this during the impeachment?
We created it after nung baril-barilan sa Senado, no?
Recently lang.
So just recently.
Just recently, after ng baril-barilan sa Senado, after nung nagkandara pa sa Senado, sabi ko nga, nakakainis, nakaka-frustrate kasi kailangan pa bantayan yung mga senador para gawin yung trabaho nila. Kasi kung hindi mo babantayan, zero bill passed nung time na yon, di ba? Pagkatapos ng baril-barilan. So we thought na it's very important for the citizens to make sure na iparamdam sa Senado na pinapanood sila para mag-behave, no?
Alam mo,
Okay,
ang tapang mo,
okay.
it turns out pala your mom is Norma Singson De Leon. Ang tapang din yun. I met her, we were part of a chat group. So I didn't know that you were the son. And how, your mother is a practicing lawyer pa rin?
She's a practicing lawyer. Araw-araw nga nasa law office eh. She used to be the national president of Alpha Phi Omega, the first woman.
Talaga?
National president of Alpha Phi Omega. Alam mo naman yung mga apo, ano yan eh. Matitinik yan, di ba? Yung nag-oblation
Kasama
run.
nila sila Laila, sila Chit Carpio Morales. Ganun ka, ano sila?
Ninang mo.
Nina,
Mahal mo sa kasal.
both. Si Chit Carpio Morales.
Ninang mo sila Grace Tan?
Yes, si Grace Tan is actually nag-recruit kay Mami sa Alpha Phi Omega.
Question lang.
Ilocano yan eh. Ilocano yan.
Yes. You're being active in politics right now and being an advocate for that matter. On the right side ng advocacy.
Sana naman.
And congratulations to that. Yung mga naging ninang mo, was that because of politics or because your law office, your family are close to them?
I became close to everyone when I started doing public interest work, and when I became a volunteer lawyer of Laila de Lima, no? Kasi ang kwento niyan, I don't know if you know yung kwento niyan, I came from one of the largest law firms in Makati, and after Kian de los Santos was shot, no,
Okay.
hindi ako nakatulog.
Where did you work?
Castillo Lamantan, Pantal
okay,
San Jose.
okay.
So, hindi ako nakatulog nung gabing yon. Naramdaman ko lang yung ngawit na ngawit yung likuran ko. Tapos parang kahit na nung ikot ko sa kama, hindi ako makatulog. So what I did was I just stood up, nag-shorts na lang ako, nagpunta ako sa wake ni Kian de los Santos.
Okay.
And doon ko lang naamoy for the first time yung amoy nung kawalan ng pag-asa. May scent pala eh. May scent yan yung talagang ang tahimik, ang kapal ng hangin, no? Nagbubulong-bulungan lang yung mga tao, parang
may takot.
takot sila, may takot. Talagang despair has a scent, no?
Yeah.
And nung naramdaman ko yun,
Not a
sobrang
scent. Despair has a stench.
has a stench, exactly,
Yes,
no?
okay.
And then nung time na yun, sabi ko, parang ayoko na ulit maamoy yun, no? So sabi ko, I quit the law firm, and sabi ko, I'm gonna do my fair share in fair share mo lang naman eh, in fighting for human rights, kasi nga I'm a graduate of De La Salle University College of Law. That law school was established precisely for the purpose of defending human rights. So feeling ko nung mga oras na yun, parang I need to do my
Wait,
fair
really?
share.
It was set up to as a bastion for human rights?
Human rights and environmental law, actually. And when Brother Armin founded it, no, ang sabi niya, we need to create a new breed of lawyers na hindi affiliated with fraternities, will fight for human rights and,
And
the
you're
environment.
the pangilang batch ka?
First batch.
First batch.
Graduate.
Okay.
First graduate.
Ni
yeah.
Chel.
Ni Chel,
Question
oo.
lang.
Touch move na siya. Kung ano man yung, kung di ako marunong, kasalanan ni Chel.
Tama. Sorry, Attorney Dino. Sorry, Attorney... Ano pangalan mo ulit? Edwin.
Sorry, Attorney Nani.
Justice. Ang daming vloggers ngayon na lawyers. And, depending on which side you belong, may kanya-kanyang legal opinion, may kanya-kanyang political opinion, for that matter. Who do you think should the people believe in? Because both of you are lawyers. You have your own political blogs. You interpret the law. Is it because of your politics or is it because of the spirit of the law? Kung ano yung tama at saka mali?
Well, sa akin kasi, kailangan tingnan mo muna yung credibility, di ba? Nung lawyer. Very important for me is, of course, yung background, consistency.
Okay.
Number 2, so tingnan natin yung track record consistency. And number 3 is yung advocacy work niya. No? Meaning to say, while we are all lawyers, not all lawyers are equal in terms of experience and education.
Yes.
No? So sa akin, tingnan natin mabuti kung inaral niya ba yung issue, no?
Okay.
At consistent ba siya sa kanyang advokasya, and at the same time, yung advocacy work niya ba, sa aking palagay, kung nagpa-practice mo talaga yan, nakikita niya ba talaga yung both sides. Kasi sa totoo lang, madali naman magbigay ng opinion. Eh. Lahat tayo pwede magbigay ng opinion.
Kahit
di
hindi
ba?
abogado, for that matter.
Oo.
Oh,
And sa akin,
yeah.
hindi important na abogado ka, bibigay ka ng opinion. No? But ang important is rigorous ba yung iyong citation, yung empirical basis mo, no? Hindi ka nang bobola, at at the same time, hindi ka nagpapagamit.
Oh,
as
si Nani, hindi nang bobola.
No. Alam mo, sometimes
Totoo yun.
your politics is based on your family background. Di ba? You became a lawyer, you studied in La Salle, you just mentioned a while ago, human rights and environmental issues ang sabi ni Brother Armin. Now, you're choosing which side of the chamber you will belong to? Is it because of your family background or is it because of your education?
Family background, I'm a Singson, I'm a Ilocano, never voted for Marcos. No? And at the same time, UP, ang mom ko class 83. I wasn't even able to take the entrance exam in
Your
UP
mom is
Law.
class 83?
Class 83.
How old
class
are you?
83. I'm 39.
Oh, man. I'm 62, 70. Understandable.
Yun, so, alam mo, sa batch ng mom ko, dalawang UP dalawang UP din.
Okay.
Dalawang UP din. Sila lang yata ang batch na dalawang UP din, no?
Si Chela at si Hill.
Hindi, sa Raul Pangalangan
no.
and Danny
Si Manong
Concepcion.
Raul.
Sa class 83 yung dalawang yan, no? Pero unfortunately, I wasn't able to take the entrance exam kasi desidido na ako na maglalasal College of Law ko. I think ang main ko talaga na sa career, Claret, no? I'm syempre presidente namin ng Claret Alumni Association. Yes, Claret. I was student council president.
I'm also Lasal.
You're also Lasal.
Lasal din
Yes,
ka.
oo nga. Student council
Pero
president.
Beng, nag-Ateneo. Hello.
So I was student council president in Claret, no? And then debate team captain. And debating has really sharpened me, and yung advocacy work, yung pagbubukas sa iyo sa both sides. Yun yung isa sa pinaka biggest formation ko. And na-recruit ako sa Lasal dahil nag-coach sa akin nung Claret, high school days is sa Lasal. Then dire-diretso na yan. So while my family background has influenced me a lot, I think it's really the discussions, the exposure to issues, and the exposure to leadership, CMLI, Children's Museum Library Incorporated, student council work. I was law student government president as well back in DLSU Law and debate team captain. So it's really the leadership work when I was in my formative years that reared me.
Law ka na pala pumasok sa...
Let's look at the impeachment court. You're Balik Senado, and obviously most of us or all of us are observing the Senate trial. You mentioned that the three most important elements are evidence, evidence, evidence. Let's talk about the first article. Do you think that they have the evidence to support a conviction for the first article?
Well, very very clear kasi yung ebidensya siya. And for me, na I think, of course, sinasabi man natin sa Bantay Senado na guilty na si Sara. Hindi, actually. Ang sinasabi natin, may ebidensya, and it looks like it, based on the investigation of the House Committee on Justice, that the burden of evidence has shifted.
No, but let me change that. If you're to vote on Article 1, what will you vote for?
Well, I really definitely will vote for conviction. No? Bakit? No? Very strong yung evidence on the confidential funds. No? Ano ba yung mga ebidensya dito? Number one is, of course, the vouchers themselves. No? And then, pag tinignan mo yung vouchers, may Philippine Statistics Authority certification na hindi naman nag-exist yung mga taong yon. Pangalawa, iilan lang yung nag-fill out ng vouchers, no? Based on the question document section of the National Bureau of Investigation. No? Pangatlo, hindi mo talaga ma-explain yung 125 million in 8 days, not 11 days. Kasi tatlo doon, holiday. Christmas, Rizal Day, New Year. Tapos ang sinabi is, ginamit daw supposedly for safe houses. So iniisip ko talaga lahat ng mga talk ko sa Bantay Senado, kung 100 tao lang yan, ilibre ko lahat sila sa Okada. Hindi aabot na 16 million a day. Di ba? Lahat sila bibigyan ko ng isang kwarto. So iniisip ko talaga bilang isang reasonable average person, sinong tinago mo at saan? Kung bakit 16 million a day yan. Tama ba? Kasi kung 20,000 pesos per day ang isang kwarto, 30,000 pesos ang kwarto dyan sa Okada. No? Kung 100 tao yan, 3 million lang. 16 million a day ito pinag-uusapan.
Ito naman nabasa ko lang to. No? And not to dispute what you're saying. These funds were released before December.
Right.
And most of the agencies were doing the same thing. Rushing to liquidate yung pondo para hindi mag-revert back sa national government. Yun lang naman. So, I know of one agency also did that because yung gumawa niyan, kilala ko. Diba? So, talagang they were trying to liquidate. Yun lang naman. The others that you mentioned, of course, those are now evidences.
Nani, yung magandang ilalabas yata si Madriaga. Pero
Yes.
according to the testimony of
Madriaga.
Madriaga, it was only spent in 1 day. That's why, parang may inconsistency sa sinabi no 13 days. Plus yan pala Madriaga said 1 day lang, inubos ko na yung that much money.
Nakakatawa dyan kay Madriaga, Edwin, di ba? Ang sabi ni VP Sara Duterte, hindi ko kilala yan, kahit anong sabihin nyo. Pero biglang doon nilabas yung video, Happy birthday, Sir Ram. I wish you all goodness and happiness. Tapos yung isa pang video na Inahanap talaga siya sa crowd at binigay yung bandila. Tapos may email thanking him for attending yung convention sa Davao. Tapos merong Zoom meeting kahit hindi raw nagda-laptop si VP Sara Duterte. May Zoom meeting with Inday Sara is My President movement founded by Ramil Madriaga. And so many pictures.
The witness.
The witness.
The
Na-organisador
witness.
siya. So that initial exchange sa akin lang, again, as a reasonable average person, may nagsisinungaling. Sabi ng isa, hindi kilala. Sabi ng isa, may email, may 2 video, may screen cap ng meeting nila sa Zoom, at may at maraming pictures na organisador talaga siya. Para may nagsisinungaling doon kung sinong hindi magkakilala, di ba?
Question lang. Apparently, you're a very intelligent guy. No? Ang punto ko lang is, you will not be swayed by public opinion when you will vote for conviction. Yun ang sabi mo kanina. But this is also a political act. You are not a public servant at this point in time. So you are not pressured by public opinion, generally speaking. Now, public opinion manifests or nagre-reflect sa mga surveys. Si VP Sara tumaas, bumagsak pa si President Marcos. Do you think the senators will consider evidence, or will consider their political future? Because kung ito lumampas ng next year to, it's election time in the country.
Correct.
What do you think?
Well, tingin ko dapat ebidensya, di ba? Kasi syempre ako, I'm trained as a lawyer. And kahit na yung pinag-uusapan natin ito, yung opinion ng publiko, may Okta survey, may WR survey, even may Pulse Asia survey na 7 to 8 out of 10 actually want the trial.
Yes,
no? So if there's anything na mag-guide sa akin, iba yung approval rating eh. Pwedeng ina-approve ko siya. Pero hindi ibig sabihin yung tao, hindi gusto ng trial, hindi gusto makita ebidensya. And dahil kahapon, sinabi ng Senado, bubuksan yung bank accounts. Sa tingin ko lang, I don't wanna presume, I don't wanna be overly confident, pero kung may 6.7 billion na labas-pasok doon, tandaan natin sa affidavit ni Sally Trillanes, merong 20 billion doon supposedly na galing sa drug lord. Or at least alleged drug lord. Diba? Paano mo i-explain yon? Makikita natin na yung actual transactions. Medyo, ako yung depensa, ang laki ng problema ko. Paano ko ngayon i-explain each transaction there? No?
Is it also true na pasusupin yung mga documents, but hindi automatic yung paggamit ng mga ebidensya?
Or the admissibility.
Or the admissibility of the evidence. Kasi nga, the context is, when you file this case, you should already have an evidence. O may ebidensya daw against VP Sara. Kaya, some call it a fishing expedition kasi kulang yung ebidensya nila. Or the other way of looking at it is, nung inumpisan yung impeachment trial, alam nila na wala silang boto to convict, gibain na natin yung reputasyon ni VP Sara. What do you think about it?
Resolved na kasi yung sa fishing expedition. No? Ang kailangan kasi lang ng kahit na sinong prosecution, alam niyan ang lahat ng mga litigators sa bansang ito, probable cause. So, ibig sabihin, talaga namang ginagamit ng prosecution ang coercive mechanisms of the state to actually get evidence, because how can you expect, nakalagay sa batas, confidential, yung mga yung mga documents ito, how do you expect the prosecution to be able to get that without the aid of a court? Impossible. It's an unreasonable, impossible burden being imposed by the defense to the prosecution. In fact, that is precisely why there is a mechanism of subpoena.
Especially the authenticated copy.
Correct. The
Hindi
original
lang yung
copies.
kopya lang, di ba yung authenticated copy?
Kasi kung photocopy, sasabihin na naman nila, photocopy yan.
Objection.
Objection. Kaya nga ako magsasubpoena, di ba? So, very clear sa aming lahat ng practicing lawyers na ang bawat side, even the defense, has the right, or both sides have the right, to secure and the assistance of the coercive powers of the court to be able to get the evidence that they need so that they will be able to advance their case. That is basic in any litigation, no? Kaya nga may karapatan yung mga parties na mag-request.
So let's look back at yesterday. How did precisely the main issue of the Cayetano siblings was, this was a fishing expedition. How did Chel Jokno respond in a way that convinced the impeachment court?
Ang galing eh. Sorry kasi, fanboy moment na naman ako dito sa dean ko eh.
Oo nga. Ano bang grade mo sa kanya? Was he ever your teacher?
Yes, several times. Constitutional Law 2,
anong grade mo sa
legal
kanya?
writing. May time pa na pinagalitan talaga ako yan. Sabi, galing-galingan mo nga magsulat. Kaya talagang naging meticuloso kami sa pagsusulat. Kasi teacher ko siya sa legal writing 1, legal writing 2, legal writing 3, legal writing 4.
Nung sinabi niya, abogado ka, hindi ka doktor. So, yung sinusulat mo, ba yan?
So,
Okay,
anong
okay.
sabi ni, how did the Chel Jokno respond to?
Well, number one, no, ang sabi ni
Magaling.
Chel, magaling sa very calm kasi, no, itong si Chel Jokno, no. Ang sinabi ni Chel Jokno, sabi niya nga, 'di ba? At the time when we were investigating this, we only needed probable cause, no. That means that we advanced or we submitted articles of impeachment based on probable cause. He would agree that it would be a fishing expedition kung sakasakali na pumunta siya doon, baka meron dito. No? Pero hindi eh. Meron na already basis. Ang basis dito is yung
okay.
Anti-Money Laundering Council report that they already have. So, ibig sabihin, may basis. Ang sinabi, 6.7 billion na labas-pasok dyan sa, sa bank accounts mo. Meron na rin silang salin. Sinabi sa salin, hindi nagmamatch yan sa legitimate income mo.
Okay.
In fact, nakalagay sa salin mo, 0. O, edi, meron ng cost, probable cost to actually take a look at your bank account. So, it is not a fishing expedition as if there is zero basis.
Do you agree that the senators, judges, agreed to allow the SALN from 2007, which are not covered by Sara's term as VP?
Well, number one, doon muna tayo sa prinsipyo, no? Integrity is indivisible. No? So, ang tanong ko nga lang dyan kaya tingin ko mali yung Duterte versus House of Representatives. Kunyari, mayor ng Alaminos.
Sino yun?
Mayor Boyser, Alaminos, Laguna. Was also my professor in Lasal.
Talaga?
Ex-political detainee.
Okay. Kunyari, mayor ng
Pero ako
Davao.
yun, yung pogi na mayor ng Alaminos.
Kunyari, mayor ng Davao City, ha? Nalaman mo nung mayor pa siya na siya pala ay Chinese spy. Hindi natin alam. Na-discover mo nung presidente na siya. Bawal na ma-impeach? Di ba yung integrity is indivisible, number one. So yung prinsipyo, tama si Chel Jokno, hindi mo pwedeng sabihin na may integridad ka nung vice president ka, pero nung mayor ka, hindi ka. No? Kaya nga integrity, ba? Anong direct sa Catholic belief? Anong isabi ng integrity? Wholeness. Wholeness, di ba? So hindi mo pwedeng, hindi na-divide ang wholeness. Kaya nga, whole, number one. But number two, very very clear sa akin rin, no, na itong mga ito ay kailangan para malaman mo yung buong istorya. Ang sabi kasi sa amin nung nung nasa law school kami, nag-aaral kami, 'di ba? It's the whole truth. Not partial truth, not quarter truth. It's the whole truth. So that para malaman mo kung ano yung buong basis, sama dapat yung yaman niya beforehand, no? So para makita mo yan. Now, assuming without conceding na tama yung Duterte versus House of Representatives, at siguro wala naman tayong choice kundi mag-comply doon. Kasi yun ang sinabi ng Korte Suprema, no? Sige, para makita mo yung ill-gotten wealth, kailangan mo ma-establish kung ano yung mga sinabit niyang document prior to assuming the Vice President.
Pinayagan.
Logically speaking, di ba? Kaya pinayagan.
In any event, I think si Alan, Camille, and si Lauren will file a dissent. No? But going back, over the weekend, nag-away si Alan at saka si Ping. Nagbanatan. Si Alan Cayetano at si Ping.
At saka si
Ping
Senator,
Lacson. So
Ping.
what are your thoughts on the possibility of Senator Ping Lacson opening up an investigation into the Taguig flood control corruption issues? Let's discuss that. Before you answer that, we'll take a break first.
Excited na ako eh.
The Spokes is back, still with Attorney Dino De Leon. Bago tayo pumunta sa ating hanging question, meron tayong comments and questions from our live viewers. But before that, ako, watching those two lawyers yesterday, kung ako may kaso, either one of them I'll choose to defend me. They were very familiar with the law. They were not reading notes. Spontanyo yung sagot nila, pinag-aralan talaga. So, yun lang naman ang comment ko sa kanila pareha. But ito, ikaw na magbasa. Sa girlfriend mo.
From viewer Sheila 12365. Hi Sheila. So much admiration for Attorney Dino. Walang takot magsalita. Fighter of injustice.
Thank you.
Ikaw, next. Basahin mo.
Ito, hindi ko boyfriend to, ha? From viewer Macon 405, this is not the time to be apolitical. When Lenny and Kiko lost in 2022, akala ko wala ng pag-asa. And yet, here we are again. Fight, fight, fight.
From Suki viewer, Purples and Roses.
UP yun
Impeachment
Ano mo
is
nasabi?
about accountability. Ayun, tanungin mo na. Yung hanging question mo.
Well, balik dito, no? A while ago, our hanging question was, your thoughts on the possibility of Senator Lacson opening an investigation on Taguig flood control corruption issues?
Nakakatuwa lang no na si Alan Peter muna tayo kasi issue ni Alan Peter yan, di ba? No? Sabi mo nga, nag-away sila ng weekend. Nagtataka lang ako dito kay Alan Peter kung bakit parang, ewan ko kung same sentiment kayo, ayaw nyo lang siguro.
Pero, sorry.
Ang alin? Anong same sentiment namin?
Well, ako talaga, grabe kasi yung kasinungalingan ni Alan Peter every single time. No? So, and for you to be able to quote the name of the Lord while lying in a straight face, feeling ko sobrang galing niya magsinungaling na nakumbinsin niya yung sarili niya. And in a lot of instances, katulad niyang kay Ping, hindi ko maintindihan kung bakit he's picking fights left and right. And ang kutob ko, he's doing so para maging spectacle, para may diversion na naman. So,
impeachment?
Oo, so Tuesday, tinan mo, si Matibag, it's gonna be a spectacle again. Ang mapag-uusapan na naman dyan yung away ni Matibag tsaka ni Alan Peter. Yung kay...
Today yan.
Ngayon yan.
Today,
Oo.
oo.
And yung mga unnecessary remarks kay Ping Lacson, nung weekend sinabi niya rin kay Tulfo na parang, 'di ba, quadruple yung dumoble yung saled niya. Tapos sabi pa nga ni Erwin, hindi, kumadruple actually, or ni Rafi, 'di ba? So in short, why is he picking fights? And I don't understand why. Pero sa akin kasi, hindi naman porke impeachment court judge kaya hindi ka na pwedeng imbestigahan sa mga kabulustugan mo, di ba? So, sa akin, imbestigahan kahit sino pa yan. Kahit ang presidente ng Pilipinas yan, si Bongbong Marcos yan, si Sara Duterte yan, kahit sino pang senador, wala dapat secret count.
Yung picking fights, kakaiba yon. But on the matter of his legal opinion, because obvious naman pro Sara si Senator Alan, tumakbong Vice President nga ng tatay. Don't you think yun lang yung interpretation ng law, ng batas para i-defend yung si VP Sara?
Meron kasi kaming tinatawag na legal ethics, di ba? So,
Okay.
sa akin kasi dapat meron kang boundaries ng kasinungalingan mo, no? Ito kasi si Alan
Dapat
Peter
walang sinungaling. Walang boundary.
Oo nga may boundaries ka, walang sinungaling. Sorry, may boundaries ka, hindi ka nagsisinungaling. Ito kasi si Alan Peter Cayetano, for him to be able to defend with a straight face the war on drugs, using dun sa foreign correspondent and saying lahat ng pinatay, sabi niya, so are you saying, tinanong siya, point blank, are you saying na lahat ng pinatay ninyo, 6,000 as of the record, guilty? Sabi niya, yes.
Oh.
Yes. Imagine, an officer of the court, a lawyer, can say that nang wala namang trial. Tapos ngayon, due process siya, biglang stickler for human rights and the rule of law and due process. Pero nung kahilan lang, siya nagde-defend na they don't deserve to have a day in court because they are all guilty already. And lahat sila, all of them, not a single one of them, exception, nanlaban. Yun yung rhetoric niya nung dinidefend niya sa foreign correspondent. So, una, point blank, kasi nungalingan yun, alam niya yun, nag-aral yan ng mabuti, mataas sa pinag-aralan yan, UP and Ateneo yan, no? So, and then he's using all the gifts of the Lord to him to be able to shield, no, yung mga kawatan at to be able to defend yung malawakang patayan, di ba? So, sa akin, and then he can do so while using the name of the Lord and quoting the Bible. And every time na magpe-pray, magkakaroon ng palabas na luluhod.
You know,
diba? Medyo nakakakilabot.
What caught my attention was, during the time of the impeachment of Justice Corona, he agreed na kunin yung back records. Ngayon, he's defending not to. So, again, medyo double standard
Medyo inconsistent.
Papapasukin mo lang si Bato de la Rosa na alam mo may ICC warrant, isa ka rin naman sa bumoto for the ICC. Ano klase yan, di ba?
No. Sorry, one last point regarding this. It's a political act, yung impeachment. So, the rules minsan varies. As long as, wag lang naman natin lampasan yung Philippine Constitution. Yun lang naman ang akin Di ba? Rule of law, due process, equal protection. Yun lang.
Whatever it is.
Wag naman yung case-to-case basis. Nagbabago yung position mo.
Bahala na
Di ba?
ang electorate sa kanya kung anong magiging decision if he
Akala ko
decides
bahala
to...
ng Diyos sa
Hindi. Pero you had a post recently about regarding hotel bookings paid in advance and converting that into gift cards. What's the context to this?
Well, may nagsabi sa akin no, na participant noong organizing nitong SEA Games tsaka nung, naalala mo, nung Southeast, nung ASEAN Summit. Kasi naalala ko, nasa gobyerno pa ako noon nung hinost natin yung Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation before Pinoy.
APEC.
Before that was one of the last events na hosted by Pinoy. Tapos right after may ASEAN and then itong SEA Games, no. Merong isang organizer na sinabi sa akin, grabe, Kuya Dino. Kuya Dino tawag niya sa akin eh. Grabe, Kuya Dino. Ang ginagawa nila...
Sino sila?
Well, yung organizers. Daw, sabi, no? Narinig ko lang naman to and sasabihin ko na, wala akong personal knowledge.
Hindi namin alam who are the organizers that you're pertaining to.
Well, of course, yung... Sila Alan Peter, di ba? And yung mga...
Nilaglag niya pangalan ni Secretary Dizon, ha?
Si Vince?
Nilaglag niya.
Nilaglag niya. So, but yung grupo daw nila, Alan Peter, no? Ang ginagawa is mag-hotel booking, tapos maraming bookings, tapos wala kasi mag-occupy. So, tama naman, ipapa-convert nila for card, no? Yung vouchers. And then, pinambili daw ng Rolex.
Wait.
Doon sa baba.
Bayad na yung kwarto. Walang gagamit.
Walang gagamit. I-convert na lang daw kasi wala naman daw gagamit. No? Kasi, and then, gagamitin pambili ng Rolex. At least yung sinabi sa akin, I don't have personal knowledge here. No? And then, sabi ko, grabe. Pero naisip ko, ano, pwede nga scheme na yun. and then of course, nag-resign yung taong kakilala ko from it. Kasi sabi niya, grabe yung racket, ang tawag niya racket dyan sa
yung nagsabi sa'yo may personal knowledge.
Well, kasama siya close in ng mga
You know, you've been very, very aggressive in attacks on all these public officials. Aren't you worried about being filed a cyber libel case?
Or your safety, for that matter?
Well, alam mo, ang mga public officials, no, hindi dapat sila balat sibuyas, di ba? So, alam naman natin yung batas dyan. Hindi natin, ako, sinasabi ko lang naman, pagdating kay Robin Padilla, traidor siya. Kay Alan Peter Cayetano, sinungaling siya. That's not libelous, no? When you call out, and then let for the record, it is our duty as members of the public to call out our public servants. Minapasweldo sila ng taxpayers' money. No? Dapat they're fighting for our interest. Dapat di sila nagsisinungaling. Dapat di sila traidor. So yun, hindi yun libelous. No? And for our safety, ang lagi ko naman sinasabi is matagal na tayong takot. Pero nung I filed the case against Rodrigo Duterte, De Leon versus Duterte.
Tapang sa'yo.
De Leon versus Duterte, when I filed the health records, yung nakakatakot yung time na yun kasi absolute power si Rodrigo Duterte. Pero the one thing na ayaw kong kunin sa akin is my free will as a Catholic because that's the greatest gift of the Lord to you. So yun yung prinsipyo ko every single time na nararamdaman ko yung takot. Courage is not the absence of fear, di ba? But having the will to face it. Because ayokong makuha pa sa akin yung huling-huli kong treasure, which is the Lord's greatest gift, which is your agency, your sovereignty, your ability to choose.
Question lang. Libel cases filed against media persons or civilians who attack yung mga public servants. Do you think that's a form of harassment against them? To silence them, to give them a hard time, and to delay yung mga atake or to stop the attacks?
Most definitely. Tsaka ako kasi, I've always been an advocate of decriminalization of libel. No? I don't understand why it's a criminal act. It's a private offense, di ba? Pag may sinabi ako sa'yo, bakit nakikialam yung Estado? Di ba dapat entitled ka sa danyos, sa damages? I don't understand really why the state has to be involved and why is it that it is a crime against the people of the Philippines. No? So sa akin, tama, may punishment, pero it has to be private in nature. In fact, in most jurisdictions in the world, decriminalize ng libel. It's inconsistent with free speech, di ba?
Kasi since the flood control controversy, ang daming libel cases pinafile, against persons, against media people, and the like.
Alam mo kanina si Nani was mentioning about death threats and all that, and personal security mo. There was a BBM blogger who got killed, no? Si Mima Alicia yata. And allegedly, you're part of a hit list ng DDS, top 40 ka. Are you aware of that?
Well, alam mo, nung I was defending Laila de Lima at the peak of Rodrigo Duterte's power, ang balita ko, sila Laila de Lima and everyone else was taas pa sa list. In fact, na-demote na nga sila ngayon ng mga Marcos sa listahan. So, ang point ko is, whether that's a list or not, ang pag-iisipan mo lang dapat is, what is the right thing to do? You know, the youth organization that I've established in the La Salle Debate Society, ang sabi namin is, fighting for what is right and just with an indomitable spirit is never a lost cause. No? So, ang lagi lagi kong calculation is ano bang tama dito? Kasi doon sa calculation, meron karoon pa kami ng decision-making calculus. Pag ginawa mo yung tama, hindi siya strategic, hindi siya practical, at least ginawa mo yung tama, di ba? Yung
Logic.
dito, logic.
Philosophy
Ito,
yan.
pagka ginawa mo yung mali, practical, natalo ka, di ba? Pag natalo ka, ang outcome, ginawa mo parehong mali. Dito sa kabila, no, pagka ginawa mo yung mali, at pinili mo yung practical, maling-mali na talaga yun, di ba? Ultimately, doon sa decision-making calculus, at least ginawa mo yung tama eh. And meron ka ng isang panalo. No? So, yun lang yung sa akin, no? Nung pinag-isipan namin yan, isang buong module yan, nung ginawa namin doon sa sa organization, talagang sa akin lang is wala kang talo pag ginawa mo yung tama.
So yung itong hit list na sinasabi, you view that as talagang tutumbahin ka or babalikan ka?
Alam mo, nung panahon ni Laila de Lima, when I was speaking up, and even nung sa campaign ni Rodrigo Duterte, I get 90, 100 death threats in a day. You know, I have, I think, 12 insurance policies.
alam mo yung hate list, laway lang yun eh. Yung hit list, bala yun. Magkaiba yung dalawang yun.
Hindi ako naniniwala kasi na, totoo pagka gusto ko talaga nilang may gawin sa'yo. Pinapatahimik ka lang
No
yan.
amount of security.
And sa akin, you know, sandali lang naman tayo dito eh. And gusto ko, by the time comes, kung mangyayari man yon, when you face the creator in the eye, pwede mong sabihin, Lord, ginawa ko po yung kaya ko Diba? Kahit na gaano ka-short yung stint mo, if ever. Yun lang gusto ko. If ever you face the creator in the eye, sabihin ko, Lord, ginawa ko po yung makakaya ko. Hindi yung titignan mo sa mata, tapos may embarrass ka, tapos tutungo ka.
Nani, upakan na natin to. Tough question ka na.
Okay. Sa latest SWS survey, meron pa ring 57% trust rating si VP Sara compared kay PBBM na 34%. Ibig sabihin ba nito maraming ayaw ma-impeach si VP Sara? Ano sa tingin nyo, Atty. Dino?
Well, hindi. Pag nakita ng taong bayan yung ebidensya sa tingin ko, kahit na yung mga supporters niya, mababawasan. Meron diyang mga die-hard supporters, no? Pero like ko naman sinasabi, to everyone, hindi naman natin sila kalaban In fact, pagkausap ko sila, ang lagi kong sinasabi, sana ang loyalty natin sa flag, sa saligang batas, isa lang yung bansa natin, pare-pareho tayo ng hangarin, regardless of the personalities, sana tingnan natin yung ebidensya, tsaka yung principles, tsaka yung batas. Yun lang lagi kong sinasabi. So, I think a lot of them are starting to become convinced. We're going around, specifically the Gen Zenials, no? The Gen Z and Millennials. Bakit? They're gonna be 7 or 8 out of 10 voters come 2028, no? So, sa akin, bago na electorate, bagong tao na ito mga ito, no? So, I'm hoping for the best, and hindi lang sana sa 2028 kasi ang belief ko, uunan lang talaga yung Pilipinas if we have at least 3 administrations of good governance. Dati isa lang tapos papalit-palit
Sorry boss, may take on this survey. Kasi wala pang declared na kalaban si VP Sara Declared candidate yun Hindi naman niya kalaban sa susunod na eleksyon si Pangulong Marcos. But once there is a declared candidate, those numbers will change.
Up or down?
Sa tingin ko, babagsak yun.
Sige.
Wala kasi pang declared candidate.
Correct.
Di ba? Yun lang naman ang akin.
So, the next tough question, should the Cayetano siblings be cited for contempt because they were on Facebook defending their actions? Are they observing sub judice?
Ang hirap kasi, 'di ba? Kasi yung hindi gagawin 'yan ng senator judges sa kapwa nila senator judges, no? Sabi nga ni Ron Padilla, kahit sunugin siya mag-aamoy Duterte pa rin siya, no? I think ang main potent tool natin against senator judges and against key public officers is yung sense of shame. Kasi kung wala na silang sense of shame, 'di ba? The next one would be make sure na hindi sila mananalo ulit. Tandaan natin si Miriam Defensor Santiago, okay? Almost won as president in 1992. Super popular until now. Pero natalo siya after nung second envelope movement. At hindi siya natalo ng muntik na nanalo Malayo, no? So the electorate made her pay. And I think it's high time na yung mga Villar, yung mga Cayetano, no? Kung sakasakaling ganyan pa rin, nagiging balakid sila sa pananagutan. Alam naman natin yung 6.7 billion pesos na labas-pasok, sinabi nila ng AMLC. Kailangan pagbayarin sila kung magiging balakid pa rin sila sa katotohanan at sa ebidensya.
That's the long-term goal, but on the immediate, itong pasunod kaya medyo... Anyway, do you see Alan Cayetano being criminally charged in the middle of the impeachment trial?
Well, we've already filed a case against him, no?
Okay.
Doon sa
Sorry, what case?
yung obstruction of justice siya, si Robin Padilla, at si Aplasca. No? In fact, inaantay nga namin yung sagot niya. So that is already pending before the Ombudsman because of yung ginawa nila kay Bato de la Rosa.
Okay, last tough question and brief answer lang. How should people involve themselves in the ongoing impeachment trial?
Well, dapat magbantay, no? Magmasid at makialam, no? So, magbantay kasi kung hindi natin babantayan yung Senado, institusyon natin yan, hindi yan institusyon ni Alan Peter Cayetano, ni Robin Padilla, no? Institusyon ng taong bayan yan. We couldn't allow them to actually monopolize discussions or prevent the Senate from promoting accountability and doing its mandate. So magbantay, magmasid, di ba? Tingnan natin kung nilalansi tayo, tingnan natin kung nililihis yung usapan, no? At huling-huli, pinaka-importante, kung kinakailangan makialam.
Would you encourage organizing rallies, or will you organize rallies just to support your position?
I've always been an organizer of rallies.
Okay.
I'm part of the Tindig Pilipinas. We're the ones who's always calling for accountability. Simulat sa pool, no? So, very important ha. Ang tandaan natin, ang greatest check in any democracy, especially when our institutions fail, are the people. And lagi yan, korte, kongreso, at yung pangatlo, kalsada.
Kalsada, okay. So, pasensya ka na, Atty. Dino. It was an exciting discussion. Learn a lot from you. So, maraming salamat sa pag-attend mo ng show namin ni Kuya Edwin.
Salamat, Dino.
Thank you for having me.
As Bilyonaryo News Channel expands its reach in Central Luzon, the delayed telecast of this post can now be seen at CLTV from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. just before agenda. I'm former Secretary Edwin Lacierda.
I say it the way I see it, but very quickly, let me my condolences to the family of the Tabora and Strada family. My very, very good friend died last night. See you soon, Itong. Condolences to Boying Peralta as well. I'm former Secretary Nani Agsalud Braganza.
And we are
The Spokes.
Thank you, Dino.